Welcome, fans, and to those tuning in from home, let's get ready to... Oh, god damn it! Yeah, no joke. That's a thing they copyrighted. Hopefully it doesn't affect this review. But in any case, Ready to Rumble is a 2000 film directed by Brian Robbins, the same guy who directed the 2006 Shaggy Dog movie. The main writer is Stephen Brill, who was a part of 3 Mighty Ducks flicks and Movie 43, which many consider to be one of the worst movies of all time. This movie was made to advertise a once popular wrestling promotion known as World Championship Wrestling, aka WCW. I actually grew up with this wrestling series, and while I didn't pay much attention to the dramas and storylines involving the wrestlers, I loved watching them beat the crap out of each other. This was before I slowly lost interest in wrestling itself and moved on to video games of it. But even then, Ready to Rumble was something I really looked forward to at the time. Maybe it was just me being young, but I didn't remember how mean-spirited the whole thing was. It did nothing but insult me and wrestling fans, and it reminded me why I tuned out the WCW. I just couldn't get it out of my head, and even though I didn't really want to do this, the deepest part of me insisted. The time is now, so I'm going to really dig into this film and see what the hell happened. We start out with a montage of wrestling's greatest moments, narrated by one of our main characters. Really trying to sell it as epic, but it does not come off as such. We then meet the 2 leads, Sean Dawkins, played by Scott Caan, and Gordy Boggs, played by David Arquette. They are big fans of a wrestler named Jimmy King, who is also called the People's Champion.
And I told you, little turtlets, not to park your junk in front of the shop. Wrestling is for real.
Okay, that's enough of you. Yeah, this movie has a lot of contempt for its intended audience. And if you're thinking that the douchiness is just from the detractors, then hold that thought. Because now, Gordy gets a brain freeze and decides to go confront the store owner in a fever dream.
Oh, Jimmy King's a big fat loser. He's a sissy in tights. There's a lot of glare coming off that dome of yours. Squirrel nuts!
So, putting aside how much this movie resembles a bad 90s comedy, the fans here come off as insane or stupid. Like, this is really something that goes on in this guy's head. Then they wrestle in the store. And then Macho Man Randy Savage shows up. I guess he's here because the owner had a cutout of him nearby, even though he seems to hate wrestling. And then this happens.
King!
So this is the Jimmy King they were talking about. We'll be getting more into him later, but for now, just know that he's played by Oliver Platt. And after some less than impressive finishers, the dream ends. And now the movie decides to try out some crap humor.
Slush.
Why?
Because there's something wrong with this one. Smell it. Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, that's awful.
Remember, this movie was intended for kids and adults. Strap yourself in. Then the police show up to arrest them for possessing wrestler magazines. And are they doing a terrible homophobic joke? Well, either way, I want to mention that this is Gordy's father. He wants his son to become a cop just like him.
Gordy, wrestling's fake.
And we know it's fake, but so what? It's fun to watch wrestlers fight each other while doing awesome stunts. And really, this guy shouldn't have a say in what Gordy likes. He's free to do whatever he wants so long as he's being responsible and not hurting anyone.
Dude, you have a job.
I know. I mean, I should be able to make up my mind about what I want to do with my life.
That's right.
Even the movie agrees with me. Though I suppose this is just to rile up Gordy, as if to show that real fans can't discern reality from fiction.
Wrestling's not fake!
It's like Jimmy King says, this is America. I can be anyone I want. He actually says I can beat up anyone I want.
Honestly, while Gordy is the worst character in this movie, there are plenty of characters who are just as bad, and we're supposed to cheer for them the whole way through. For example, while they're going to get food, Gordy teases Sean for dating this one girl named Brittany.
Should have smelled it was you.
Hot tamale!
Leave me alone. Loser!
We follow this up with the two boys eating lunch in front of a dripping septic tank. Knowing how gross this movie is, I wouldn't have been surprised if that tank dripped its fluids on the food they're eating. And it's not like that's gonna stop them. Sean then reveals what he does when he's in trouble.
What would King do? Every time I got a problem, every time I don't know what to do, I look down and I look at it and I think, I made two.
That rock's hard, man.
I'm not gonna say this movie isn't capable of better moments, but when the majority of the movie has these two act obnoxiously, the worst kind of mean-spirited humor overshadows any sentimentality they try. Like, haha, this old lady is weird because she wants a tight wrestling shirt. Yeah, not funny. Oh, and let's not forget how much the cop family sucks.
Hey. Your sister shot her first perp today.
I don't even want to guess what kind of perp. At the wrestling event, Gordy complains about the seats, which Sean says it was the best his uncle could get. But then he goes on about said uncle being a war veteran who lost his left nut.
Hey, if you only have one left, is it still your left nut?
That's deep. Oh, and every major event has to have the Nitro Girls. Not much to say at the moment, but backstage, we get introduced to our main antagonist, Titus Sinclair. Surprisingly not a reference to Sinclair Broadcasting. He's based on Eric Bischoff, the vice president of WCW, who was supposed to have a role in this movie before he got fired.
Remember I told you I'd take care of you?
Yeah.
Alright? Tonight's your night.
Tonight.
Tonight.
Works for me, bro.
Now, Diamond Dallas Page was a wrestler who was reasonably well liked at the time, but despite being a fan favorite, they chose to make him a heel. This could be from meddling by the WCW's head writer, Vince Russo, and his return to that role really degraded the WCW, in this movie and in real life. Now about the main wrestler character, Jimmy King.
I've seen me take Diamond Dallas Page down into my dungeon and make him my medieval puppy dog bitch tonight!
Jimmy King is a fictional wrestler who seems to be a mix of Ric Flair and Jerry Lawler. I do like the idea of having a medieval knight for a wrestler, but I don't dig the rap though.
I'm king of rock, there is none high. Sucker MCs, call me side.
I invented you idiot. This is mine. You seem to have forgotten that.
Go count your money, you midget.
What is with all the slurs in this movie?
Just wanted to have this final moment together.
Yeah, that's not suspicious at all. So the match begins, and as if to show how scripted wrestling can be, the two wrestlers give each other prompts throughout the fight. But when Jimmy gets distracted, Sinclair gives DDP the signal to change the plan. And that should have been a disqualification. Like, closed fists are one thing, but they continually break rules that appear in any wrestling competition. Hell, as soon as DDP's goons show up, the match should have been over. I guess this ref doesn't want to do his job, cause he could get killed from intervening. But that doesn't excuse his inaction earlier in the match. This movie doesn't know if it wants to make their wrestling matches real or scripted. Especially since Sinclair turns all the wrestlers against Jimmy. His own posse dumps him.
What you get when you suck your buddy down the toilet? You jinxed him! No! No, God, no! Get off of me! This isn't even a pay-per-view!
Does it matter? I mean, it's weird enough that Jimmy held on to his title for 12 years, but it doesn't even make sense with real-life WCW. Because in the year 2000 alone, the World Heavyweight title changed 26 times in that year alone. So, this stretch of dominance is completely implausible, even in a fictional universe. Anyway, Jimmy is about to receive his own version of the Montreal Screwjob.
witness the demise of Jimmy King. He will never, ever fight for the WCW again!
After the match, the two dumbasses cry over the loss as they're driving home. They crash their truck midway, so everyone's cleaning up the shit they made. But let's continue this moment with a toilet paper truck crash.
What are the odds of that?
Generally high in movie land. Naturally, things are looking bad. And even Sean doesn't think Jimmy's going to make a comeback. Gordy isn't fazed though.
Don't you think it's just a little strange that we just happen to be in Cheyenne the same day that Jimmy King was cheated out of his title and banned from the WCW for life? It's a little strange, but what are we supposed to do? Exactly. What would King do?
Do cocaine, most likely. So because of all these strange happenings, Gordy thinks they are signs for him to help his idol. He convinces Sean to follow his lead, and they next head to Atlanta, Georgia. They hitch a ride with a van full of nuns, and in one actual funny moment, they end up singing this.
Running with the devil! Running with the devil! Oh, yeah!
Like, there you go. Religious women who were into the devil's music. That's hilarious!
How many times did you fart in that van?
Wasn't me, man. Swear to God.
Me neither. Swear to God.
Oh my God. They are the farting nuns.
And they ruined it. They then meet another King fan named
Sir Isaac?
Hey, that doesn't even look like me in real life. Isaac's not even my real name. Anywho, Sir Isaac is playing a horrible-looking arcade game. I can't tell if that's from the PS1 or N64. He happens to know a website that has all of Jimmy King's personal details, so Gordy and Sean use that to track him down. Totally not stalkerish at all. Their first stop is at a rundown house where Jimmy King's wife and son live. They haven't seen the King in a long time.
All I got to remember him by is an itchy crotch.
You guys bounty hunters? Cause, I help you find him if you split the reward with me. Mama says he's gotta pay for my braces, otherwise they're gonna repossess him.
They next go to another house where they meet Jimmy's parents. They also aren't too happy with their son being a jerk.
Now, according to his authorized biography, Jimmy King worked very hard in high school. And after you died in a plane crash, he went to community college. And he supported you while he held 2 jobs.
I ought to kick your ass, freak.
At this point, I don't know if these two are just so naive about their idol, or they just ignore anything that paints Jimmy in a bad light. Also,
Get off the phone, you pussy!
I gotta go. My dad says yakking on the phone is for pussies.
constant homophobia. But why stop there? Why don't we throw in some transphobia too?
She's telling me the King's a queen.
I really hate this movie. Now that they've gotten his attention, they want to try getting Jimmy back into wrestling. They pay him money for a personal appearance fee, since wrestlers are apparently broke in real life from what I'm told. And sure enough, they start talking to him about how Sinclair ruined everything.
Sinclair created and owns my whole character.
Yo, no, it's just a show, right?
Best show in the world.
Yeah, and it's entertaining as it is, but of course he's talking to 2 fans who genuinely believe that everything in the ring is real. Now, it's fine to imitate an idol or a sports star, because that's what happens with a celebrity. But Sean and Gordy are just obsessed with Jimmy to an unhealthy degree, as if he has to do whatever his fans want. Then again, why do they even like him? He acts more like a heel because his king shtick is all about looking down on everyone else. If anything, DDP should be the hero, while Jimmy should be the main villain. But again, Vince Russo seems to have it out for WCW, so he's trying to run it into the ground. And much like Sinclair, they're both willing to do things that would lead to lower ratings. So, because King still has some desire to get back at Sinclair, the boys end up assaulting his ass just to get him angry.
Let go, or what? Or what? Or what? Or I will.
Hell.
Crown us, come on!
Crown us!
Please crown us!
Congratulations! You both have concussions for life. So the journey to get back on top begins. They drive all the way down to the next Nitro event, where DDP has a title defense match with... What? Okay, even before I knew that Disco was a terrible person, even I knew that he wasn't the kind of wrestler who'd have this sort of opportunity. Anyway, the plan is to sneak Jimmy King in with an outhouse, so he can ambush DDP backstage.
Have you back on that throne in no time.
He's already on his throne. Then the dumbasses peek inside the Nitro Girls' dressing room. But even when one of the girls confronts them, they don't get kicked out.
We were just checking out your breast. We're checking out the pipes that go through the walls.
Yeah, sure you were. We then get another moment of Sinclair and DDP insulting the king. And if that wasn't enough, here's what they have to say to the child audience.
I just don't understand what all these kids dig about.
Hey, let me tell you something about these kids, all right? They're morons. They love who I tell them to love.
Everything about this movie is a miserable pile of hate and suffering. Outside the wrestlers who had to be in this, as well as certain actors who are wrestling fans, it's like the creative team is doing everything in their power to make this movie suck. So of course, Jimmy ambushes DDP and kicks his ass. Sinclair tries to help, but the boys stop him.
Who are you guys? We're fans! Jimmy King's, asshole! Get him off of me!
And yeah, never do this in real life. Scripted or not, these wrestlers, including the ref, can and will beat you up real bad. Frankly, with all the felonies they've committed, these guys should at least be jailed for life. But this is Ready to Rumble, so that doesn't happen. Instead, King pins DDP, so the boys declare him champion.
Per the bylaws of the WCW, that belt cannot be passed.
You give me what's mine, you slimy ass freak!
You can't win by ambushing your opponent.
You literally had him ambushed last time, you freaking idiot! By your own admission, Jimmy would still be champion if DDP didn't cheat. But of course, Sinclair gives Jimmy the chance to regain his title. It'll be a steel cage match with the belt and $1 million on the line. And he doesn't even have to win.
All you have to do is survive. Yeah. You survive, and you get this belt. But if he loses, you forfeit your crown and never be able to wrestle again.
Well, that's no problem, because he'll likely be dead after this. Seriously, Sinclair just declared that he'll kill Jimmy on live television. Pay-per-view even! Now what kind of cruel, sadistic person would ever find this exciting? Oh right, these two. Plus everyone in this movie apparently.